Good morning, students. I am Mrs. Ngbe Mercy. I am here to teach JS3 and to take them on the subject CRK, Christian Religious Studies. And the topic here is Orthodox churches. Now we have to look at the objectives, the things we are meant to achieve at the end of this lesson. 1. We explain the meaning of the word Catholic. Then 2. We list the Orthodox churches in Nigeria. 3. We mention the first missionaries that came to Nigeria. 4. We mention the reasons why they failed in their first attempt to preach the gospel message. 5. We explain why the second attempt was successful, and we have to mention the names of African missionaries who joined in preaching the gospel. In the beginning, there was only one church. In the beginning, there was only one church called the Catholic. The word Catholic means universal. Later, as a result of a great movement called the Reformation, the church was divided into two, which is the Roman Catholic Church and the Protestant churches. Now, the Roman Catholic Church and the Protestant churches are known as the Orthodox churches or mainline churches. Missionaries. The Orthodox missionaries were sent to establish churches in all parts of the world, including Nigeria in Africa. Now, let us look at some of these churches that were established by the Orthodox missionaries. Now, these are the lists of some of the Orthodox missions in Nigeria. Number 1 is Roman Catholic Mission. In brackets, you have RCM. Number 1 is Roman Catholic Mission. In brackets, RCM. Number 2, Protestant churches. We have a list of them under number 2. Let's take a look at them one after the other. The first one here is I. We have used the Roman numeral. I, Anglican Church. II, Methodist Church. III, Baptist Mission. IV, Wesleyan Methodist Church. V, Presbyterian Church. VI, Salvation Army. VII, Seventh-day Adventist. VIII, Jehovah Witness. IX, Sudan United Mission. In brackets, SUM, SUM. X, Assemblies of God Mission. The missionaries that came to Nigeria were the European missionaries from the Roman Catholic Church. Their first attempt to preach the gospel message failed, though they came some 500 years ago. But let us look at the reasons why they failed in their attempts to preach the gospel to the people. 1. The weather was hostile. The weather was hostile. We cannot compare our weather here and the weather outside there. Because of the hostile nature of the weather, they couldn't cope. 2. There was a language barrier and they needed interpreters. because we don't understand their language, which is the English, and they don't understand our local language. So it was a difficult task for them to carry out their message. 3. The chiefs were hostile because they were afraid that if they allow their people to become Christians, they will no longer follow their African religion. So these were the reasons why the first attempt was not successful. Now, these are the names of the missionaries that came to Nigeria. Number 1 is Hope Water. Number 2, Mary Slessor. Number 2 is Mary Slessor. Number 3, David Hindera. Number 4, Henry Townsend. Number 5, Father Concord. Number 6, Father Joseph Lutz. Number 7, Thomas Bowen. Number 8, Reverend V. Bingham. Number 9, and last, Dr. Carl Kuhn. However, the second attempt came up some 300 years later. It was a successful one. Why was it successful? Because some Africans had already become missionaries. They joined in preaching the gospel. In Nigeria, so many churches were established by these Africans. Now, we are also going to look at the names of these African missionaries. We have number 1, Samuel Ajayi Crowther. Number 2, here is Reverend Thomas Birch Freeman. Number 3, we have William the Grafts from Ghana. Churches were built in major cities throughout Nigeria. Now, after the European and African missionaries had formed their Orthodox churches in Nigeria, some of the Nigerian Christians left mission churches to form their own indigenous movements. That gave rise to the indigenous or independent churches. Alright. Now, the result of the great movements or the movement from some of our Nigerian Christians gave rise to the indigenous or independent African churches. From what we have done so far, we are going to write or you mention about 5 indigenous churches and their founders as an assignment. That would be an assignment to keep you busy for this period. Just mention 5 indigenous churches in Nigeria and their founders. After that, you forward it to the email below here, fgcphcdgclass@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Stay blessed and stay safe. Mbe Mercy, Federal Government College, Port Harcourt.